Does it seem like doing the right things for your body, mind, and spirit is a series of moving targets these days? Like just when you've dialed something in, somebody moves the goalpost. Stick around. BalanceFIT Radio is on.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Lift off and the clock has started.
Hey now, namaste, word 'em up, and good day, BalanceFIT family, and welcome to BalanceFIT Radio. We're talking about strength, meaning in the human experience. I'm your host, Scott Schroeder, and I'm a certified personal trainer, nutrition coach, and performance enhancement specialist based here in the lovely village of Easley, South Carolina. BalanceFIT Radio is where fitness meets psychology and philosophy in everyday life. Because true wellness is about more than just the body. It's about living in balance through strength, resilience, and capability. Let's get after it, shall we? In the studio with me today, oh my gosh, you're in for a treat. My compass and my rock since 1998, and already rolling her eyes at me. The radiant and gloriously incomparable Meredith Schroeder. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's good to have you again. Last time you were in here, you were a shadow off camera, so I'm glad to see your beautiful face on camera. And you're going to give us a little bit of something today. You gave a phenomenal tutorial about how to be the best, how to be a Spartan spectator without getting lost and tripping over your feet and not catching the right moments and all that kind of stuff. But you were off camera, so we had it on audio, so all the podcast universe heard it, but I couldn't clip it. I got this whole segment of amazing information that I couldn't do anything with on video. So you're back for that. Lacey is having a girls' weekend with her chicas that she's known for quite some time that she organized and put together for them. So hope you're having a good time out there, Stacy Fletcher, with your girls. I saw a group of bodybuilding priests at the gym today.
What were they doing?
Yeah, talk about muscle mass. Oh. Come on, not even a good groan out of you. By the way, hey, real quick, if you're listening or watching and you aren't subscribed or following, please take a moment and click the button. Doesn't cost you anything, doesn't take you but a second. Also, like, share, rate, review, all the platforms. It's a bigger help than you can imagine to get the message out. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your support, and I am very grateful for it. Before we get into it, I want you to stop stressing over the optimization of your fitness/wellness. Do this instead. Make it simple enough to be repeatable. Stop thinking that repeatable is boring or unproductive. Foundational habits with fitness and nutrition are a force multiplier, not a rut. And I want you to make it thoughtful enough to matter. Think through where you are and where you want to be instead of jumping on the latest trend. Following trends is the actual reason you're spinning your wheels. And last, make it sustainable enough to last. You can do basic strength training of the fundamental human movement patterns and cardiorespiratory exercise forever. You can't sustain stupid crap like CrossFit, Insanity, or P90X, and you won't sustain trendy marketing disguised as fitness solutions like all that ridiculous connected home equipment. So just make it yours. Don't perform your fitness and do it for yourself. So make it simple enough to be repeatable, make it thoughtful enough to matter, make it sustainable enough to last.
Totally agree. And for some people, that means establishing a very easy to follow routine. For me, that doesn't work. That's not sustainable for me. I've tried it a bazillion times over the last 30 years.
Like what?
Like, I'm going to get up and work out every morning at 6:30 or 5 times a week or 4 times a week at 6:30. Well, then one morning that I'm supposed to do it on Wednesdays, and Wednesday morning I have a dentist appointment. Well, I guess I'm just not working out today. Or I did not sleep well last night. Or I have a big meeting that I need to get ready for. I don't have time to work out for an hour, then shower, then before I sit down at my desk. Things get in the way. And so if I couldn't do it at the appointed time, it just didn't happen. I've realized I just go with the flow. For me, that works. Like, I had planned to work out yesterday, but then my husband said, "Hey, let's go do something today." I'm like, "Okay, sure.
You hear that,
let's
everybody?
do that."
That's right.
So then I worked out today instead. And sometimes I don't have an hour to work out, but I'll go try to do something just to move.
Yeah, and this leads into what we're going to talk about later in the heart of the matter, the topic, which is this weird, just psychopathic optimization culture that we've gotten into, that it's the dichotomy of putting yourself on a rigid plan that when it falls apart, when it inevitably falls apart, you have no pivot. You haven't given yourself any buffer or any wiggle room,
and so you just don't do
plan
it.
B, C, or D. So you just derail, crash out, and you just don't do anything instead. So that's a good entree into that. But warming up, there was an Instagram comment or a comment on Instagram on one of my posts, but I'm going to get to that later. But I didn't want to forget about that. But we had a conversation. And by the way, today's episode, for you guys that don't know us, we've been married for 27 years. Our life is a podcast. If we just ran hot mics like Truman Show style throughout all of our day, we'd probably own the internet because it's pretty entertaining.
I disagree. I think we're quite boring.
Well, that's true. We are pretty boring in a lot of ways, but we're hilarious and
To us.
entertaining.
To us.
To us. That might be all that matters, right?
Right.
But we had this conversation yesterday. Well, it was not a conversation. It was a monologue. I was talking at you, and I'm nothing if not amenable to learning, experiencing, pivoting on some things, or layering in some new things. So I did the whole double diatribe about my hatred for treadmills, specifically for training, not for just general movement or
Warming up,
something like that, but specifically for training running or training strength for a race, training to climb hills, things like that, just specifically because of the lack of muscle activation, because the belt is moving your feet and your legs for you. And the whole thing about people doing the incline, then grabbing onto the bars and leaning backwards so they're walking up a flat road. But I'm at the end of my training cycle for the upcoming Spartan race weekend, which is 6 days away. And I'm at the end of the heavy training cycle and the beginning of the taper and rest pre-race cycle. And that's hard for me, to keep from injuring myself by getting too hard at it, all too close to race time. So I picked a couple of days where I went to our local big chain gym, and I just needed to get some light movement, some steps under my feet, some light movement, just keep the muscles activated without overdoing anything. Not working on strength or hypertrophy or power or anything like that, just keeping the parts moving. And guess what I did?
Treadmill.
I got on the treadmill.
Can I ask why you didn't do that down the sidewalk?
Yes. Why didn't I go out and walk down our sidewalk?
Yeah.
Because last week during the peak, the apex of my training cycle, I did like 4 days in a row of heavy running, including trail running, and my right hamstring was a little tender. It wasn't to the point of being injured, but if I had pushed it any farther, it would have been. And my own words came back to me, which is your hamstrings don't get activated nearly to the degree that they should on a treadmill, because for hip extension, the belt is moving your foot backwards for you. But, ding, I found a way to get movement to elevate my heart rate a bit and to just get some movement without straining my hamstring. So instead of walking or running out here on our hills, I went and got on the treadmill where there was very low impact on the hamstring, and I could still crank up the incline to boost my heart rate a bit without putting undue strain on my muscles. So there's the caveat. There is the reason to use a treadmill during training when you are tapering or when you need to rest or recover from an injury or potential injury, when you need to take some strain off of those lower extremity muscles. So I wanted to throw that in there. As we get to that, as I mentioned, you were with us last week with your amazing dissertation about how to be a good Spartan spectator, and we didn't have it on camera, so here you are, and I'm going to give you the floor. Take it away.
Oh, okay. So Spartan, OCR, Tough Mudders, whatever it is, Scott likes that. I have no desire to crawl under barbed wire or climb over crazy walls or any of that, but I will cheer you on. I am here for it. So if you are going to a Spartan race to cheer on your person, I have some tips. First, you need to make sure you know which event your person is participating in. There are different levels. There's the sprint, the super, the beast, and the ultra. If this is your person's first time, they're probably doing the sprint, maybe the super. What's the sprint is a 5K, the super is a 10K. Is that right? Mm-hmm. So they're probably doing
Spartan
one of
miles.
those. Spartan,
so
yeah.
3-ish miles, 6-ish miles.
Yeah. So talk to your person about how long they expect it to take them to complete the course. So I know with Scott, if he's doing the sprint, around 45 minutes. But there's more to consider because my person wants to arrive 2 hours before start time. So,
And why do I do that? Am I crazy?
because one, you got to allow for some unexpected because parking and getting into the
Traffic
gate
on the
and all
way.
of that.
Yeah.
But then when we get there, you like to go, like just get settled in, warm up, do whatever it is that you
I want
do.
to decompress. I don't
Yeah.
want to run out of the car down to the check-in line
And get started.
and
Right.
run straight to the starting
Right.
line.
Right. So I know that I'm going to be there a minimum of 3 hours because he wants to arrive 2 hours ahead of time. It's going to take him around 45 minutes, plus or minus, depending on how intense he's what's the word I'm trying to say?
I don't know. Intense?
Intense, I guess so.
How intensely I'm going to get after it?
Yes.
My intensity level?
Right. And then afterwards, if your person is competing in the open, then they're just doing it to finish and be done, and they'll get their participation medal. They might want to go watch some other people finish, get a bite to eat, chill out, watch some other people for a little bit, go buy some souvenirs.
And they may be testing themselves,
Right.
not against other people,
Right.
but testing themselves against the clock and against the course.
Right.
And they might even be doing something like, this is how I'm going to dip my toe in the water to see if I want to run one of the elite events. So
Right. So if they are running timed to compete against other people, then you're probably going to want to stick around for some of the awards. So just know when that's going to happen. You're going to be sticking around for a while for that. So that's the first thing is know.
And that's elite and age group.
Right.
So you have to qualify to run in the elites, but age groups, anybody can sign up for that. But you are under the Spartan rules of competition,
Mm-hmm.
and you will, if you place first, second, or third, then you'll get a little podium picture and a special medal for that. So,
Right. So sprint, I know I'm going to be there at least 3 hours. A super, I'm going to expect to be there probably around 5 hours. And a beast, that's like 6 or more hours
of total time.
of total time for me to be there. I don't want to sit around necessarily for 6 hours in the heat or the cold or whatever is going on in the past, I've dropped you off. You're 2 hours ahead of time, haven't even been there for the start, and just came back later to make sure I see you finish. Took the dog with me. We went on a hike, picked up a bite to eat, whatever it is.
Yeah, and you don't need to stick around because, I mean, there's stuff to do, but there's not that much stuff to do.
6 hours is a long time.
And you're going to see me, or you're going to see your competitor for the first, on this particular course that we're running next weekend at Asheville. You're going to see me for the first 2 minutes and the last 20 minutes.
Right.
And all the middle stuff, we're way out in the woods.
Right. So let's talk about that. So that's my suggestion is, if you have kids and they play sports, think about sitting at your kids' soccer tournament all day. Bring whatever you'd need for that. Bring your bag chair, bring your water bottle, your hat, your sunscreen, if you want to bring a book to read. But there is plenty to do there. Just depends on how much you want to walk around and do, how much you want to sit and watch. Because, like Scott said, once they start, they run off onto the course, and you're not going to see them again until like the last maybe 3 or 4 obstacles, and they're still going to be far away. We'll talk more about that in a minute. So you want to make sure you know about how long it's going to take them to finish so that you can be at the finish line and capture that and be ready to give them the high five and everything. But what are you doing between, whether it's 45 minutes or an hour and a half? What are you doing during that time? There's food trucks, there's vendors, there's live music usually. Maybe you brought friends with you and y'all are hanging out and just getting a bite to eat. Great. But go watch the other competitors. Go watch the kids on the kids course. That's fun to see. They can just go and run it, and it's fun to watch these kids, little up to like 12 or so. I don't know what age it goes up to. 16?
Something like that. It's around 12.
12-ish, something like
12,
that.
13.
That's
like
fun
that.
to watch because the whole families will come out, and the mom and dad run the course. The kids do the kids course. That's fun to see. Watching the competitors, you see people of all ages, all body shapes. They're just getting out there. Some are getting out there and just trying it to see that they can do it. Some are trying to beat their personal time. Some are competing against their friends. It's just fun to watch. One time we saw this guy carrying his dog on his back through the whole course.
Carrying a big old dog up and over obstacles.
So it's just inspiring to watch people finish. In the meantime, have your chair, go set up your little camp spot. The event, they do put out some canopies and folding chairs and tables. You might find a spot there, but don't count on it. And those folding metal chairs are not comfortable to sit in all day long. So find a spot, put up your chair, your stuff, but go wander around, support the vendors who are there selling, get a bite to eat. There's different products you might want to try out, that kind of thing. Let me see. What am I forgetting along those lines? Okay. When your person takes off, they're going to have a chip that will be timed. You can go on the day of the event, go to the online page for that event, and there is a live tracking link. You can see where your person is on the course. If they're doing one of those long ones especially, and you want to see how close are they getting to the finish line, it's not GPS, so you don't see a little dot moving along. But every
More
time,
like a checkpoint.
Like checkpoints. Every time they cross a checkpoint, you'll see, okay, they finished a mile. Oh, okay, they're about halfway through. You can see checkpoints along the way, so that's good. But also, some of these venues, cell service is really spotty. It's out in the woods, out on a farm, out in the middle of nowhere sometimes. So if you don't have good service, there is a tent where they're tracking all of that, the timing and results tent. You can go over there and just check in and they'll tell you. Let's see, what else? Oh, speaking of tents and checking in, buy your spectator ticket ahead of time just to save a little headache at the gate. But if you do that, again, spotty service sometimes, you might not be able to get a signal to pull up your ticket, take a screenshot of your ticket, have it saved where it's easy to just show it to them and scan when you get there.
Yeah, that's the easiest thing to do. Just bring it up on whoever your person's, have them bring their account up and screenshot and your spectator ticket and save that in your phone as a JPEG, as a photo, not some file that you have to search around for, but just put it in your photos and put it in a folder that says Spartan or something like that. So you just pull it right up. And, or, what they really want you to do is download the app.
Right.
So if you're going to do that, download the app and it'll give you an option to add to your digital wallet. So if you want to do that, but anyway.
Yep. So if you listened to last week's episode, or if you watched last week's episode in particular, you saw Scott's pretty little britches.
Here we are with the pretty little britches again.
Okay. There are a lot of people running these races who look like Scott. Dudes that are about his age and his size with shaved heads and tattoos, and they're all wearing black shorts and black shirts. So when you see your person on the last 3 or 4 obstacles climbing over a wall, you're going to see a lot of people in black shorts and black shirts climbing over a wall. They all have on the same Spartan headband. And you're like, I think that's him.
Covered in
maybe. Mud. The first couple times, the easiest way I could identify Scott was by his gait. I knew how he moved. Not like I could spot you like by any identifying characteristic because you're covered in mud and everybody else looks like you. I could tell the way you moved. So we've learned.
And you only get that from decades of being together and just true love.
I'm so blessed. So the best thing is to make sure your person is wearing something identifiable. A neon yellow shirt, although those are kind of common too.
Yeah, you're starting to see more of that now.
Scott has his pretty little red, white, and blue breeches. Those are much easier to identify. Some people wear some crazy socks, but just make sure that you can easily see them. You know something to look for at least. If it's just like a red bandana tied around their wrist or whatever it is, because those last few obstacles, you want to position yourself at the right time so you can start to see them climb over this wall or do these climby things. I don't know what the obstacles are called. Or, whatever it is, hoist up this big heavy bag. Because we'll be able to see the last couple of obstacles. But as they're getting near the last one, you want to make sure you go ahead and get to the finish line because you don't want to miss that moment.
Yeah, don't watch them climb the A-frame cargo net and get distracted right as they're on the fire jump and you're still way over there.
Right. So make sure you get to the finish line on time. And you're there to get the picture, the video, high five them when they come across. But then after they cross the finish line, there's a little backdrop where they go and get their picture done. They walk through, they grab a banana. It will take them a couple minutes maybe to get to you. So just stand there and wait at the end, and then you can get a big muddy hug and all of that.
And there's another thing I don't know if they do it at every single race, but they do it at most of them in this race in particular. It's called the extra mile. And so right when your person finishes, they might opt to do the extra mile. And what do you get out of that? A pin.
Glory. A
little pin to stick. And sometimes they've run out of pins, but it's an extra bit of competition. It's almost kind of a cool down. Mm-hmm. And it's usually not literally a mile, but it's some kind of like at Asheville last year, we carried, I think it was 10-pound kettlebells through this maze that took, I don't know, like 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. So they may do that. So you may have to wait on that. And you can get pictures. That's right there at the finish. So you can get pictures of that video and stuff if you wanted that. Yeah.
So speaking of pictures and videos, do plan ahead of time to take a couple of pictures of your person before they start. At one, there's different photo moments throughout the venue, big Spartan letters and signs and whatever. But then at the end, they're going to get their medal. You want to be sure you get some pictures with their medal at the end when they're all muddy and gross and everything. But then just let them be.
Why's that? You getting emotional again. Hey, she does this and it's okay. All of y'all can shut up. You know who you are. I love that she loves life. So let him be, because, wow, we just probably need to cool down and clean up a little bit. And
Yes, because you like to tell me everything that you did, and I just let you talk. Or you might be freezing to death because it's February and you walked through water, and now all of a sudden it's settling in that I'm freezing to death.
Right,
I need to get
so-
these socks off. So be ready with towels, wipes, change of clothes, all of those things. There is a spot at the venue where they can go and hose off, but it's not showers. You're not going to go get completely clean there.
You know what? They actually do.
They have added something like
They've
that, haven't they?
Got a vendor a few years ago
Yeah.
that has like those trailer
Yeah.
bathrooms.
Yeah.
They have those that are showers, but they malfunction a lot. Of course, there's only a handful of
Right,
them, and
and-
there's 3,000 people racing. So
Exactly.
don't
So
count
just
on it.
plan
if
to have
it's even
some
there, don't count on it.
Towels, washcloths, whatever, just to wipe down with, change clothes. If you want to hang out some more. If you're going to just head on home, don't worry about getting so cleaned up then. You can just go onto the car and clean there when you're ready to clean up. But have something for them. Have, sandals to put on, get their nasty shoes off and slip on some slides or something.
That's the first thing you're going to want to do is get those shoes off.
Yeah. And just be able to wipe their face off and their hands and everything. So they're going to eat and drink. But just have your little diaper bag, so to speak, ready for them. I told you, think about your kids. What would you need for your kids?
You've taken the toughness factor of this thing way down with pretty britches and diaper bags.
But then once you do get to the car, Scott wants to change, before he gets in the car, or you might just want to put a towel down on the car seat for them to be able to ride somewhere if you're going
At
straight
least
home
that.
or go to McDonald's and change in the restroom or whatever. But you're at least going to need a big towel for them to sit on at the minimum. Scott wants to change clothes, and so we need a big sheet or a big beach towel to hold up so he can stand there against the car and change clothes without flashing the whole
Yeah,
world.
and if you missed it last week, my system is we have shades, window shades for the whole car, so you can block out the other side. I'm not worried about people looking at me. It's just I don't want to be rude and flash other people. So block that out, and then we open both doors. We have a 4-door, so we open the doors so that they're kind of like create two little walls, and then I have clamps that I clamp the beach towel to the top of the door, and so it gives me a nice little changing booth right there. So I have got to get that stuff off of me.
Yeah.
We're fortunate enough that we live an hour and 10 minutes from the Mill Spring, Asheville venue. We live an hour and 15 minutes from the Newberry venue, and we live 2 hours-ish from the Atlanta venue. How far is it to Charlotte? 2 hours?
Hour and a half.
So we got a lot of venues around us that doesn't take us a long time to get home, but still, who wants to sit around?
Because
and all
also
that?
Scott wants to go eat afterwards, and so
Waffle House, victory dinner.
victory dinner. Let your person choose wherever they want to go eat afterwards, and get cleaned up and go there and chow down a little bit.
That was a correction. I think I called it. I always call that thing I eat the wrong thing. I think I called it the All American Special. It's the All Star Special.
Hey now.
So shout out Waffle House. Hey, if you want to sponsor me, I'm here for you. The All Star Special, elite food, elite post race food.
I think I covered most of the important things. Just be prepared for the weather, hanging out. Like I said, if you were at your kid's soccer tournament or softball game or whatever, you're sitting there for hours. What do you need? And just have fun and enjoy. Watch everybody else do their thing and get some high fives.
Yep. Awesome. Good stuff. All right. We're going to do real quick. I have a lot of very deep, insightful, helpful things for the Gen Z segment, but we're going to go quick today because you have somewhere to be, and I'm going to lose my co-host. But going back to the drive that we did yesterday, we live in a pretty cool place. We live exactly halfway between, we are 15 to 20 minutes between downtown Clemson and downtown Greenville, South Carolina, right in the middle of them. So we can go either way to get, I mean, we got plenty of stuff here and easily, but we can go either way and do other stuff. And so we went down the Clemson route yesterday, and we went and got a little something to eat at a coffee shop and went to Target so you could take something back. And on the way, you know how much I love driving, right?
Oh, yes. Love it.
There's almost nothing in the world that I hate more than driving. And it's because of the lapse in education and not teaching the unwritten rules of the road anymore. So Gen Z, as you're growing, some of you are driving already. Many of you are driving already. Some of you are not driving yet. A lot of you have your permits or are a year or so away from your permits. But I want you to know that there are fundamentals of driving an automobile that are non-negotiable, and there are unwritten rules of the road, and you need to know these. Now, you should have been taught the concept of unwritten rules, but you weren't. Your societal predecessors failed you. I guess I'm part of that, but I'm trying to correct the record. So one thing really quickly, this whole segment, we could do an entire podcast on proper driving etiquette and rules of the road, rules written and unwritten, but we're going to do this one today. Hun, what is the left lane for?
Passing.
The left lane of any multi-lane road is, except for city roads. If you're driving down the boulevard in the middle of a city, that's not necessarily a passing, but we're talking about highways and interstates. The left lane is not an entitlement. It's not a place where you hang out.
And look at your phone.
The car is not a place in which you look at your phone. Mm-hmm. I cannot tell you this, the fact that we have let this become acceptable to the point of where people clap back when you get angry with people for driving while staring at their phones is insane. Mm-hmm. So we need to bring shame back to, should be shameful. It's shameful to drive drunk. It's shameful to do a lot of things, and shame is a powerful motivator. Well, you should be ashamed for staring at your phone while driving. And that jackass that we passed yesterday, mm-hmm. cruising in the left lane of a 65, going below the speed limit in the left lane, and as we got up next to him, he's looking at his phone. By
the way, sitting at a red light qualifies as while driving.
Correct. This is not a time where you relax and zone out and check email and text your friends and doom scroll TikTok. Your one and only job is to wait for the light to turn green and then go.
And I just need to make sure we are clear. We're not only talking to Gen Z.
No. Yeah.
We're talking to every age.
Yeah. But by directing this at Gen Z, what I'm trying to do is to have you guys correct it. Have you guys
do better.
Pick up the ball where it got dropped. Not that I'm saying that you do this or you only do this, because this thing doesn't know.
It's the old people doing it.
It's everybody.
Yeah.
So some people would respond to this by saying, "Oh, just chill out. It's just a second or two that I'm sitting there." No, it's a second or two for you if we're lucky. If we don't have to wake you up, mm-hmm. and who knows how long it would be then. But multiply that by 6 or 8 or 10 cars at each light. Now all of a sudden you got half the people missing the light cycle that could have gone. And there is no more precious commodity in the universe to humans than time. So you need to stop thinking of it as, this is my time to look at my phone or kind of get around to going whenever I want to go. You need to think of it as you're stealing time from someone else, and that is not your prerogative.
You're in the way.
Don't be someone else's obstacle.
Or popsicle.
Or popsicle. That's an inside joke. We'll tell you later. But getting back to the left lane, if you are on an interstate or a highway, do not cruise in the left lane. The left lane is for passing. Once you have passed, get back over to the right if there's room. It might be a crowded interstate. If you are in the left lane, you better be prepared to go with the flow of traffic.
Hey, Scott Schroeder,
Yes, ma'am.
what's this have to do with fitness?
I don't know. What does this have to do with wellness?
Yes.
The wellness of the future of the world is in the hands of Gen Z. And mental wellness is just as important as everything else. And as I said, time is our only unrenewable resource, and we can't, when you steal time for stupid reasons,
It's gone.
it's like some things we have to surrender time to. We just know. But when you're being lazy and self-involved in that 2-ton death missile that you're driving around, that you have a contract, it's not your right. You do not have a right to drive. Your driver's license does not come, it's not issued to you when you turn 16. You have to earn it. You have to keep earning it. They can take it from you for doing stupid crap. It's not, you don't have a right to be on the road. You have a right to commerce, to proceed, but you do not have a right to be there. So that'll be the end of our Gen Z segment today. So stay out of the left lane unless you're passing. All right, in the heart of the matter today, something has it's not that it's come up recently, but it's boiled over. And I want to discuss this because it's just gotten out of hand. And I want to call back the philosophy moment that I started with, and that is everything in life, whether it's your fitness, your nutrition, your mental health, your wellness, your daily operations, whatever it is, make it simple enough to be repeatable, make it thoughtful enough to matter, make it sustainable enough to last. So what I'm getting at here is this galactically insane optimization culture that we've morphed, that we've meandered into. And what made this crease my consciousness to the point that I wanted to bring it up on the podcast was this whole bananas and blueberries thing. You familiar?
No, what's wrong with bananas and blueberries?
Nothing. But there are certain people out there who just can't leave well enough alone. Apparently, and you know what a fan I am of blueberries.
I am not.
I eat blueberries every single day, usually twice a day. I start and end my day with blueberries. I love blueberries. I think they're fantastic. I put them in yogurt and do other things with them. Anything that's blueberry, I'm all about it. But apparently, and blueberries are a superfood, and blueberries have polyphenols, which are very good for you, which have lots of antioxidants and all that kind of stuff. But guess what?
Right.
Guess what you can't do now? You can't put bananas in your smoothie, particularly if your smoothie has blueberries.
Why? What's going to happen? Are you going to explode?
I guess so. No, nothing's going to happen. Here's the thing. All these fruits have polyphenol oxidase, all of them. When you cut or damage the skin or cell structure of fruit, it starts turning brown. That's oxidation. Apparently, we're all supposed to believe now that we can't put a banana in our smoothie that includes blueberries or other high antioxidant fruits because the PPO, the polyphenol oxidase, starts having weird reactions with blueberries, and it removes all of the effectiveness. It's an enzyme, and it removes all the effectiveness of the polyphenols and the antioxidants in blueberries. So, my God. And as it turns out, it's not really 100% true. And there's no reason to go into the details of this. I'm sure if you're paying attention to nutrition on social media, you have seen this whole ridiculous thing. Yes, the PPO kind of reduces a little bit of the antioxidant, but it only reduces the effectiveness of one little strain. So it doesn't just wipe out your blueberry consumption. It reduces the effectiveness of one little element of it. Otherwise, you're getting all the nutrients from that delicious smoothie. So have your bananas. If you want to optimize your smoothie, why would you want to optimize your smoothie? I don't know. Are you a professional athlete or something like that where your only job in the world is to be the strongest, healthiest elite athlete there is, because your income depends on it. Most of you, the answer to that is no. So if you want to optimize your smoothie, then sure, just leave the banana out if you're having blueberries. For the rest of us normal human beings, just do whatever you need to do. And the whole point of this is that nobody can just live and enjoy anything normal anymore.
You got to get the most out of it you possibly can.
Right.
Or it's not worth doing.
Or it's not worth doing. Everything. And like I said, the goalpost keeps moving, man. It's like, all right, blueberries are a superfood. They've got antioxidants. So I'm going to eat blueberries and I'm going to feel good about myself because I'm doing this one thing that's good for me. I know it's not going to, make me some magic elf that can resist aging and death, but it's good for me and I'm going to do it. Oh, whoops. Nope. We moved the goalpost. The Overton window has slid that way. So we can't do bananas with our blueberries. So now I have to reconfigure my entire daily nutrition plan to optimize my blueberry intake. You just can't enjoy anything normal anymore.
Right. Have your salad, have with your grilled chicken, and enjoy it. Oh, wait, did you put some cottage cheese in it? Also, did you add some peanut butter to your salad?
Have something that's got seed oil in it?
Oh, no, then it's terrible.
Oh, my God.
It's horrible.
But,
you put dressing on your salad? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I think we got here. This is another one of those things that falls under my newly formed, my newly completed, I guess not completed because it's never completed, but I've built up to my philosophy of, you know what? Things were always going to be this way. It's just a series of unfolding events that happened. There was no evil timeline where we rolled a 6 and we're over here on this timeline, so everything shifted. It's just, we have gotten this optimization culture is a product of laziness, poor nutrition and exercise habits, vanity, validation seeking, and virtue signaling, because we've gotten so catastrophically sick and fat and self-involved that the pendulum swung naturally as it only can. Physics is undefeated. If you push the pendulum all the way up here, you can't hold it there forever. It's going to swing wildly back in the other direction to the exact opposite point. And that's where we're at with this stupid optimization culture, because we were so lazy and so bad with everything. And we're, like I said, we're so fat and sick that now everybody's got to push it back, so over-index, as we like to say now, push it back to the opposite extreme. And we got, everything is maxing now also. Have you heard about this?
Yes.
I mean, this is insane. Like, you can't just be a human anymore. You can't just be yourself, even though that's the thing that they always tell us: be your authentic self. Except when
do it in your way.
All right, but except when you want to take a hammer and chisel out your cheekbones, and
you have to have this Stanley Cup.
That Stanley Cup and the eyelashes and whatever, all the things that you do to looks maxing, or whatever the maxing thing is. It's just neurotic vanity. It has nothing to do with being a human.
And what do we go back to when you put all of that aside and you're trying to live a healthy life? Everything in
balance. Everything in moderation. Moderation and balance.
And you'll be fine.
You can do just about anything, just about, if you do it in moderation and have some balance in your life. None of the things except, like I said, just about. There are some things you shouldn't involve yourself with, but moderation and balance. There's a reason the word balance is in my business, and I've been using that word in my own personal foundational philosophies for years and years now, is because anything else is pushing yourself in the wrong direction, and it's just Sisyphus pushing a rock uphill for no reason. Now, there are things in life that benefit from optimizing. Let's not kid ourselves here. You can't just meander through life and bump into walls.
Right. But you don't need to optimize everything that you do all day long for the rest of your life.
Right. And the things that need optimizing are things that you tighten up to reduce useless friction and wasted time and wasted bandwidth, like ridding yourself of or organizing minutia.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, wallet, watch, phone, keys, you know the thing. Why do I want to spend precious time searching for my keys or my wallet or my water bottle? No, those things go in the same place every day, every time. That's not a stressor. That's a reduction of a stressor. That's not adding something extra to your life. That's actually reducing clutter from your life. Minutia. Put things that you use every day in a permanent place and move on. Are you thinking about Laurie Keller talking about her cousin Minutia?
Yes.
Declutter and simplify. Now, you can overdo this. If you go insane with your whole decluttering thing, that's just another version of optimizing. Just make sure you don't have a bunch of crap cluttering up your head or your space.
Or your space. Mm-hmm.
That's a reduction in friction. And this right here, and this gets mistaken for optimizing, but I talked about this last week, which is putting your day on a timeline. But what I'm talking about is for timeline utilization and adding buffering to your schedule so that when the inevitable happens and knocks you off your schedule, you don't run into a wall, that you can pivot with whatever needs to be pivoted to without freaking out.
Right.
And all I'm simply talking about is, okay, I have to be at X time. So I'm going to start at that time and work backwards and start building in things and buffering things. And that's different than optimizing. That's timeline utilization to help reduce friction. And when organization goes off the rails is when it becomes the actual stressor.
Right. And there's obsession about it.
Exactly. It becomes the stressor rather than the facilitator of life. So the facilitator is making sure that your keys are always on that hook by the door so that you're not searching around for your keys. But when you're optimizing your smoothie by freaking out over polyphenol oxidase, reducing the effectiveness of your blueberries, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not helpful. All these wearables, particularly things like sleep trackers. Now, you know when you didn't sleep well. Mm-hmm. You don't need a device telling you that you didn't sleep well to not only now that you feel bad because you got a bad night's sleep and you're less productive, but now you're also stressing out because your device told you got a bad night's sleep and you got to make sure your number is such and such. It's crazy. Now, I mean, are there medical situations where that information can help you? Sure. But if you're just a regular healthy human and you're living your life by these wearable metrics, that's stressing you out. And I'm going to talk about wearables in another episode, but I'll always remember what you told me that Kevin Meaney told you one time about your old boss told you about his smartwatch. He got rid of it because it started dictating his life. Now, these things are...
That was years ago.
I know it. These things are helpful unless you let them start running your life and you start stressing over the fact that you didn't get X steps or that your heart rate recovery isn't X number. So I want to repeat that. When optimization goes off the rails is when it becomes the actual stressor rather than the facilitator of life. And schedule, not building a timeline, but time blocking your schedule where you have to do this thing at this time, this day, and all the thing. That's too much. And like you mentioned this too, which is rigid protocols for everything. And what is this largely based on in this culture? Some rando on TikTok.
Yeah.
You're not doing these things for yourself. So what are the major stressors for this optimization culture? Fall into a few different categories. And under health and wellness tracking, like we touched on, biometric scoring, obsessing over daily wearable rings or watch numbers like 90 sleep score or low recovery status. How is that helping you? Go to bed at the same time each night, more or less. Get up at the same time each day, more or less.
Don't go to bed looking at your phone.
Do not get the screens out of your bedroom. That's if boy, if I could do anything in this, I don't know, maybe that's a broad statement, but one of the things, if I were emperor of the universe, or if I could, like Genie, I could cross my arms and blink and make it disappear, is people buried in screens all the way up to and through bedtime, lying in your bed, staring at your phone. If you're wearing a sleep tracker, but you're staring at a screen while you're in bed,
something's wrong.
What
there.
are you doing?
Yeah.
Get rid of the screen and don't worry about what your sleep tracker number
Go to sleep.
is. God almighty. Quantified fitness. That's a delightful term. Treating a casual walk or a bike ride purely as data entry points for apps like Strava and all those other things, rather than just for leisure or just your exercise.
Yeah.
Let's go for a walk, man.
Yeah.
And what do I always tell people is at least reserve some time in your walk or your run for no music, no podcast, no screens, no nothing. For a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. Reserve some of that time for that. Just go. If you're training for something, you might need to track your heart rate. But other than that, just freaking get out and move if you're just a regular, normal human being. Stop quantifying everything, but in this case, with your fitness. And right along with that is the biohacking routines. And this is what you talked about at the beginning of the episode, is scheduling rigid morning protocols or rigid protocols in general throughout your day. Scheduling rigid morning protocols like ice baths, cold plunges, and precise supplement stacks before breakfast. You've got to stop this. Once again, unless your entire livelihood is based on your athletic performance and your physical well-being, you're an NFL quarterback or you're a decathlete, an Olympic decathlete. You don't need to know these things. You don't need to do these things. You need to go to bed at mostly the same time, get up mostly at the same time. Don't sleep till 10 o'clock in the morning. Have some water when you get up. Eat a decent breakfast.
So it's okay to do those things. And if it makes your life easier to have those routines and do them, great. If it is facilitating your life and you're enjoying it and it's making your life easier and better, great. But if you miss it and you feel guilty and bad about yourself and you're like, well, it's done now, I can't do it. When
it becomes the stressor rather than the facilitator.
Right.
And there are certain people that can actually benefit some things like autism or ADHD, some other mental and psychological difficulties. You can actually benefit if you've had a lot of childhood trauma and you have no idea how to run your life and you're just a complete disaster. You might need to do some of these things, but probably not forever.
But just an average person can really benefit from routine. That's not what we're saying.
Right.
Routine. But when it becomes an obsession or you beat yourself up over it if you miss it or do it wrong, then it's become a problem.
Yes. And the next category is daily life and productivity. So we're optimizing. Extreme time blocking. And this is not what I was talking about with using a timeline to help you navigate your day. This is fragmenting the calendar weeks in advance to account for every single minute of your day.
And I've seen these videos about people speed reading audiobooks to make the most out of every moment they have. They're listening to books to learn constantly on
2.5
or whatever. To just consume as much as they can all the time.
And if you can't switch off your brain, if you need that filler, then may I suggest that you learn something else instead, how to control not being able to switch off your brain. Breathing, yoga, meditation, all that kind of stuff. Because if you can't turn off your brain, but your only recourse is to just jam it with stuff constantly, that's not okay. You're going to exhaust yourself and you're going to be a psychological and mental disaster, which will make you a physical disaster eventually. And the 5 a.m. club, viewing viewing early morning rising not as a choice, but as a mandatory moral and productive baseline. And this is all like the hustle culture. This is all this nonsense about if I'm not optimizing every moment of my day, then I'm falling behind. It's the old, what did we used to say back in the day, keeping up with the Joneses. It's just the digital, the post-industrial digital version of that. And this one, I've heard a lot of people talking about this lately, which is monetizing hobbies, turning every creative pastime
into a side hustle.
Yes. Reading or resting, just anything, any creative pastime or project or goal has to have a measurable output instead of doing it. And I can't remember who it was. It might have been Chris Williamson. I heard on Modern Wisdom talking about somebody telling him about they're that kind of person, that hustle optimization, but they're either, I don't know, they're psychiatrist or somebody, their therapist, somebody said, you need to go take an art class and not care how you do in it. Don't try.
Just
don't,
do.
Yeah, don't sit there with YouTube videos and research and tutorials and all this stuff about how to make the best vase. Just do it. And just let yourself enjoy it or whatever. Work and parenting. Hustle metrics. Here we go. Auditing daily work output by tasks completed, response times, and minimize downtime. Now, how does that, I bet, do you run into that with what you do? Talking about
you
output,
said a lot
task
there.
completed.
Yeah, that's what I do. I'm a project manager and operations director. That's my job.
Does that bleed over into your
No.
life?
No. Sometimes it has the complete opposite effect in my life because I'm doing that at work. I don't want to do any of that outside of work.
Do you have downtime?
Oh, yeah.
You do, don't you?
I love my downtime.
You've optimized anti-optimization.
Right.
And overscheduling your kids, filling children's after-school hours with competitive lessons and structured programs to maximize their future development. Oh, my God.
You know, I was thinking about this recently with summer camps these days and how all the kids are in some summer camp all the time, all summer long. I sat on the couch watching game shows and soap operas for the entire 90s every summer.
You never went to camp?
I went to summer camp for a week. I didn't go to camp every week of the entire summer.
Right. Yeah.
Like we swam in the pool. We,
Yeah, kids got to be able to breathe.
Yeah.
They got to be able to just be. I did. My parents first took me to the Athens YMCA camp, Camp Kelly in Athens, Georgia, when I was 8. I think was the first year I was there, and I was nervous, but after a few days, I was having the time of my life, and I didn't want to go home. And so they signed me up. I was only going for a week. They signed me up for another week, and I ended up as the years went on, because I went every year I eventually became a counselor, but I went every year for maybe like 6 or 7 years.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love some people I know, like they've got their kids doing yoga camp this week and surf camp next week. And that's awesome, cooking camp. And they're exploring all these different activities and learning, but it doesn't have to be every week all summer long.
Right. And I think camp, and what I was going to say is that I loved it so much that I would go 4 sessions.
Yeah.
But the things that we were doing there, first of all, we were away from home. So we were learning how to exist without our parents. We weren't unsupervised, but we were learning how to exist away from the umbilical cord and the womb of the house. But we were working. As counselors, part of our daily job was clearing fields or picking up trash or whatever it was. We were working on this mountain. But as campers, of course, you're doing the regular arts and crafts and archery and riflery, but we played games. We had chapel morning and evening. We ate 3 meals a day in the dining hall together. So you weren't necessarily focused on any. It wasn't like a thing. It was like it was an unfolding day of product, but we had downtime. We didn't have every hour of our day scheduled.
Right.
But anyway, the thing about past that is, all right, we're going to camp this week, then we're going on a family vacation next week. And then when you get back from that, you're going to work out with your personal trainer. And then after that, you're going to this specialized soccer camp or specialized baseball pitchers camp or something like that. And that's when you start getting in to the danger zone of redlining your kids and just not letting them breathe at all. The mental health impact on all of this is chronic burnout, viewing rest, and this is the thing, optimization and hustle culture and maxing. You view rest as an operational failure.
Or it's being lazy.
Yeah, that creates a state of permanent exhaustion. Identity erosion, evaluating your worth through daily metrics transforms a human being into a checklist. And that is really dangerous. Once again, we are removing everything, all the aspects of humanity systematically through being controlled by the algorithms and all this kind of stuff. And a loss of joy, turning hobbies into quantifiable goals like we talked about drains the intrinsic pleasure from activity. So closing it out, ways to push back and embrace rest and de-optimize, deconstruct optimization. The 0 day, scheduling full days with zero productive goals. Nothing. If you do stuff, you do stuff. Don't measure it. If you want to cut the grass, cut the grass. If you don't. Don't make productive goals, planned activities, or tracking. Stop tracking stuff. At least give yourself a day off from that. Unmonitored activities. Leave your smartwatch home during a walk. That's going to be real hard for some people because those steps aren't going to be on. You're not going to get those steps, and that's where the psychological damage comes in. Oh my God, my steps aren't being. Now your body is counting the steps.
You're getting the steps.
That's where it matters. But the app that your watch is connected to is not counting the steps, so you're freaking out because you think it doesn't count. That's the danger zone.
Right.
Yeah, get into nature. Stop recording data. And junk hobbies, just pick something up and do it. A low-stakes hobby, finger painting. I don't know, something like that. Casual, oh no. Video games, all right, look. I played video games with my dad when I was a kid. We'd play whatever low-resolution ancient video game we had on Intellivision or Atari, and for like 30 minutes, and that was it. I was so itching to go outside anyway. But that was some bonding time. But low stakes. Don't get on there and play Halo for 9 hours straight, connected to people around the world doing that kind of nonsense and jack your cortisol level up like that. But just do stuff. Do a hobby or a random activity with no intent to improve, right? We want to deconstruct this crazy optimization culture. And one more time, with everything in your life, make it simple enough to be repeatable, make it thoughtful enough to matter, make it sustainable enough to last. Don't worry whether it's optimized or not. Is that good?
Yep.
All right, let's get out of here. All right. Thanks for spending time with us today on BalanceFIT Radio. If this conversation resonated with you, share it with someone who might need it. Let me leave you with this thought. When it comes to eating right and exercising, there is no I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow is a disease. Until we meet again, be capable and resolute and move through life with a dead-gum sense of purpose. Train to be the right kind of dangerous. And remember, your life, your potential. Peace out, homies. We'll see y'all next time. Thank you, my dear. That was awesome. I didn't keep you too long, did I? You went just over an hour. That's like a record. You're welcome, everybody. Miss anything?